Somebody say amen. Amen. The gospel according to Luke, chapter 17. Giving honor to the Most High God, who has allowed us to be here in the land of the dying, headed toward the land of the living. For this dynamic duet of choir, those of you who would like to participate in our social distance choir, if you would please give Sister Hicks a call and she will inform you of the time that we will be rehearsing, and we're going to rehearse and sing social distance. They sound good, didn't they? Amen. 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 And deacons, trustees, and all you my father's children. Luke chapter 17, and I'm only going to read verse 32. My subject and my scripture are the same. And it reads, remember Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife. There isn't much written concerning this woman. She doesn't have a book named after her like Esther or Ruth. But here, some 2,000 years near about after the incident, Jesus made reference and saying, remember Lot's wife. Matter of factly, we don't even know her name. She is merely referred to as being the wife of Lot. She has a verbal role in the scripture. Neither did she write anything that would be pertinent to us now. But her role is vital to all of us. She is a character without words or speech. The scripture, however, takes us to her actions. And her action is a concern for all of us. And even without having words, speech, or writing, some 2,000 years near about later, Jesus refers to her as a warning. For those of you who believe in Jesus the Christ as the Son of God, this warning goes out to you. In the synoptic gospel, if you know anything about Lot or Lot's wife, in the synoptic gospel, the most concerning thing about them is Sodom and Gomorrah. And in the New Testament, watch me as I deal with some numbers. In the New Testament, it is mentioned or it is scriptured 7 times. Luke 17:29, Luke 10 and 12, Mark 6 and 11, Matthew 11:23, Matthew 11:24, Matthew 10 and 15, and then our today's scripture, Luke 17 and 34. And the reason why, 32, and the reason why I make mention of that because we know that 7 is God's complete number. And if he made mention of this 7 times in the scripture in the New Testament, that would reveal to me that God was not playing and God was serious about the situation involving that scripture. That would be, now, not only that, but after you go to those 7 scriptures in the synoptic gospel, because they were discussed by Matthew, Mark, and Luke, then when you convert them down, it comes down to 3 scriptures, and Jesus used them as a warning and tells them to remember Lot's wife. She is not addressed until the time of destruction of the twin cities. But let me help you understand something. In order to know something about Lot's wife, you first must know something about Lot.
Yes, sir.
And in order to know something about Lot, then you must know something about Abraham. Just a brief, I won't be long, just a brief on these two. Abraham is Lot's uncle. Well, Lot's father had passed away. And when they were in their homeland, it's evident that Abraham treated Lot like the son that he didn't have, and Lot treated Abraham like the father that he didn't have. And when the Lord comes and commands Abraham to leave his father's house. Now let me understand. Now, Abraham's father was not a poor man. And when the Lord comes and have Abraham to leave his father's house, Abraham takes his possession, but the possession that his father has, his father may or may not now be entitled to give Abraham what he has. So Abraham, looking at here's one over here that I know about, and here's one that I don't know about, let me see which one I'm going to. Now the old folk, you say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. But Abraham chose to follow God. And when he chose to follow God, not only did he take his possessions, not only did he take his wife, but his nephew also went with him. Lot followed in behind Abraham. Watch now, I'm going somewhere. And so since the Lord was dealing with Abraham, whenever Abraham ran into a situation that he couldn't handle, he would consult the Lord. Whenever Abraham got a blessing, he would get it from the Lord. And Lot, not being the one whom Abraham was dealing with, Lot was the one who witnessed what the Lord had done for Abraham. Remember that old song, "It is no secret"? But God can do what he done for others, he'll sure do for you. Lot sat there and witnessed the blessing that Abraham received. And so, in doing so, Lot got what they call blessed by association. And looking at this scene, we see that. Remember when the son of Ahab went to Jehoshaphat because he had some enemies against him. Remember when he did thus, and when they went before the prophet looked at the son of Ahab and said, "Oh, if you had came by yourself, if you had been with Jehoshaphat, I would have granted this blessing." And see, what I'm saying is, Lot was with Abraham, and Abraham was following God, so Lot was blessed by association. Y'all ain't got me yet. Lot was there, and as Lot got blessed, as Abraham got blessed, Lot got blessed as well. And so until finally, a problem arose. And when the problem arose, it arose because of the blessings that they had gotten. Abraham goes to Lot, he said, "Now Lot, there's no friction between you and I. But our husband, we didn't accumulated so much cattle. We done accumulated so many sheep and goats since we've been out here that there's not enough land to feed all of them, and our herdsmen are beginning to fight among themselves. So I tell you what, you choose which way you want to go. If you go one way, I'll go another way. And whatever way you choose to go, I want to go just the opposite way. Come on, y'all, look at this from a business standpoint. Lot looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and with people down there, he has a great chance of putting his stock on their table. And when he looked to the other side, he didn't see anything developing over there. Not knowing that later on God was going to make that the chosen property. But however, Lot told Abraham, I'm going this way, down towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and you go that way. And so they separated. Now look at it like it is, y'all. When Lot went down to Sodom and Gomorrah, he was not, as according to how the Bible gives indication, he was not married at the time. However, when he got there, he saw some eyes and some thighs, and he eventually began to sit down and tell the story of how he got to where he is. The children, you know how when we first met y'all, and we told y'all half of everything y'all wanted to hear to make y'all believe that we was what we was, and we wasn't no less and no more, okay? And Lot sat down and began to tell his story. And he told one story about how fine his auntie was. Come on. Now he told us about how fine his auntie was. When my Aunt Sarah was 60, we went down to Egypt, and my Uncle Abraham had to lie and tell them that was her sister, so that they wouldn't kill him and take her, because at 60 she looked better than some girls did at 18. Come on. See, we got to tell a story to make us look good. And so I don't know what Miss Lot was thinking about. She probably said to herself, like y'all did, yeah, I know. And then he told yet more stories as to how the Lord had blessed them. Now children understand that while they were down there, they already had gods in Sodom and Gomorrah. But see, before God will do something to you, before God will do something with you, he'll prove himself to you. And here's what happened with Miss Lot. While Lot was telling these stories and reminiscing, here comes Abraham. Now, I'm not doing the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing. You know that story. Now, here comes Abraham in the negotiation. And when he could not get them to leave, then he goes back and tells God, I can't even find five. So God sends, here come now, God sends two angels down to Lot's house. Now first, Miss Lot was just listening. Now she become a witness. Because here come two angels into her house. And God gonna let her see that he is God. And when the angels got there, watch God now. Here the men come around the house, desiring the angels. Lot offered them his two virgin daughters, and the angels blind the men. Now, if that don't prove God to you, but let me show you something else. Here are two virgin daughters, but at the time, Lot and his wife had 4 daughters. The other 2 girls were married, and I would dare to say that they probably had children of their own. So Miss Lot now got some children and probably some grandchildren. And here comes the word of God telling them to leave out of Sodom and Gomorrah. First thing I want you to do, I want you to head toward the mountain. Don't stop on the plain. Go all the way to the mountain. And then don't look back. Just keep going like I told you. Well, they got up and left Sodom and Gomorrah. And when they left, God rained a circumference of fire all around the outside of the two cities to keep anybody from going out or anyone else from coming in. And then drop by drop, bit by bit, fire begin to rain out of the skies of heaven. And here goes Lot, his wife, and two daughters. You can hear the crackling of the fire as it falls on the rooftop. You can hear the fire burning when it hits the wood. And you can hear the screams and the hollering when the fire land on skin, land on face, land on hair. One day, I accidentally, y'all know what I did, don't you? I accidentally dropped that thing in my lap while I was driving. It didn't take it long for that little joint to burn through the britches and on to the leg. Almost wrecked the car trying to put the fire out. Well, here come the fire raining from heaven. And when the fire gets there, the weeping and wailing go out amongst the children. Well, now I told you that God told us, don't look back. I don't know if it was motherly love. I don't know if grandma instincts came out, but she heard what sounded like it might have been one of her children beginning to cry, and she turned and looked back. But I come to tell you, Matthew and 10, around 27, it says, don't you love your children, your son or your daughter more than you love the Lord God himself? So here in chapter 17, Jesus takes the advantage. Nothing else is written about life up until the end. But you start at verse 1 to understand our scripture. Jesus is teaching the disciples about sin, faith, and duty. And the first thing he comes up with is don't you stumble while on this journey. And whatever you do, don't cause somebody else to fall on this way. You do better to have a millstone around your neck and cast to go about your daily business. So just forgive them anyhow. And then the Pharisees stepped up into the picture. And that's when Jesus made this statement. Who is the Pharisees? They are the law interpreters and the law enforcers. In other words, the church folk who are holier than thou. And they step up and Jesus tells them, if you have completed everything in chapter 17, then I want you to pat you on your back for a job well done. But remember Lot's wife, because if I told you what to do, if I told you what not to do, let me tell you something. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And what happened to Lot's wife? She wasn't homosexual. She just wasn't obedient. And obedience is better than sacrifice. Watch me, y'all. Because Adam chose not to be obedient. And since Adam wasn't obedient, God the Father had to make the ultimate sacrifice. He sent his son down to earth, and here he was born, and here they crucified him on a hill called Golgotha. He died that Friday. He died to the sun refused to shine. He died to mean crime. Surely this must be the Son of God. And early Sunday morning, he got up out the grave. Now the reason why God had to make that sacrifice is because man chose not to be obedient. So I come to tell you, we living in a hard time. Corona is all around us. Drive-by shooters are right there. Carjackers over here. Cancer over there. High blood pressure down there. I only got one thing to tell you. Remember, you go all through your Christian journey, doing everything that you know to do. You go all through your spiritual life, living as close to the Word as you possibly can. Remember Lot's wife. She was on her road to salvation. And at the last minute, turned around. If you think God's plan, I come to tell you, don't play with God. The door, the church.